everybody. Welcome to the video. Today, I kind of wanted to go over the TikTok ban controversy because I have been making new series based off of controversies or things that have happened, and this is probably the most up to date one because it literally just happened an hour ago for where I am. Anyways, I kind of want to just go over the TikTok ban to everyone and what I think is going to happen and why, like, reasons why people speculate that it happened. Because there's like what the government's saying, and then there's what like people that feel like the government is always like against them are saying. Uh, First things first, I want to go over why the TikTok ban even happened in the first place. From what I've seen and what I've kind of looked up, it's just because of national security threat, which a lot of people aren't believing. Um, Other people believe that it's banned because the U.S. believed it was dumbing the American population, making us stupid, making us do stupid things. A lot of people believe that. Um, for me personally, I don't think that is what it is. I mean, it's the I mean, I don't get how you could say that TikTok was dominating people. Maybe it was for some. Don't get me wrong. There's easily impressionable people in the world, but that's for anything that comes along. Even like older people, like people in their 40s or 50s, in their younger years, there's 9 times out of 10 they can give you a story about a time that they made a friend do something stupid. So it's not the matter of TikTok making you stupid. It's just the matter of there are gullible people in the world, people that will do things that they see, and that's always been around. There's always been people that would just do things in the moment. So I personally don't think that's the reason. When it comes to national security threat, um the only thing that I could see being a national security threat is like the TikTok makers selling the user's data. Um, which that could have been what was happening with TikTok, but I personally don't think that's what it is. I don't know what to put my finger on with the TikTok ban. It could literally be, I mean, I know what they say it could be with the national security threat, but I don't see how it could be. The I mean, you can get personal information off of the people using it, but I don't think there's that much information you can actually get to threaten a country. You can, of course, download civilians' data, do whatever, do research on the people using the app, but what are you going to do just knowing American people? That doesn't do too much just knowing how, you know what I'm saying? Because not everyone here is the same. The data is going to be wide, vast, and it's just gonna let you know the personal lives of people, but not how to take down a whole entire country. I don't understand that. Um Anyways, let's go ahead and go into what I think's gonna happen because what I think I mean I don't want this to happen, but I kind of do at the same time for what I think is going to happen with the TikTok ban from here personally, and I hope to God this happens because it's gonna be funny, but also I don't hope this happens, but I think it's gonna cause outrage to some people. I was going through my story, or not my story, but I was looking at people's stories on Snapchat for people that's posted on it right now. A lot of people are saying, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kill myself," this and that. Other people went out of their way to threaten Congress and people that are higher up. So I think this is going to cause a big outrage. It's already starting to on Snapchat, but I think we're gonna start getting videos of people like breaking down, crying, throwing tantrums, just completely crashing out over TikTok. At least that's what I'm hoping on. Because a lot of people were hoping that Trump would save it, which I'm gonna get into that. But I personally just think there's gonna be a lot of like mental breakdown videos going around the internet, and it's gonna be a big old internet like funny. I personally think it's gonna be funny, because I've never seen the appeal in TikTok. When TikTok first came out, I avoided it because I don't like when things are mainstream. I don't like watching things when it's popular because I want it to feel like it's my own idea to get into it or my own idea to look at it. Um, so it's been that for like Stranger Things came out, I hated it. Everybody was talking about it until a couple years later, when I watched it on my own. Obviously, someone told me to watch it, but it wasn't popular or that mainstream at that time. It's been the same thing as Squid Game. I didn't want to watch it for like a year or two after it came out, and then I finally watched it on my own when it kind of died down. And I mean, I watched season two instantly, but that's because I already liked the series because I watched it on my own time with season one. Anyways, you just kind of got some information on me right there, the way I look at it. I just never seen. The only thing that I've liked with TikTok is how it, when I would be upset with anything, I could go on TikTok and find a TikTok video that could directly relate to my upsetness and just put it on my event story on Snap. But that's about really the only bit of help that I ever gotten with TikTok or the any, you know what I mean? It's just like the only thing that TikTok's ever actually truthfully done for me. Hmm. Now, a lot of people believe that the TikTok ban would be pushed away for 90 days because Donald Trump was talking about pushing back the ban, so hopefully he can help it or help its case. Thing that TikTok's ever actually truthfully. Okay. Well, a lot of people believe. Alright, sorry. I was just looking at that. I hope this sounds good with the. I realized I was giving you all double input, with my desktop audio and my main mic, so hopefully that's not too bad. Anyways, so Trump did not really. If he was gonna push the ban 90 days, then it would have already been pushed. You gotta think he hasn't been sworn in office yet, so he genuinely doesn't have really no power yet. So I don't think he can actually make someone, um, or I don't think he can actually push the ban 90 days, which clearly he couldn't. It's banned as of 12, so that didn't help at all. But thinking on if he is going to save TikTok or not or bring it back, um, depends. I TikTok coming back, if it does, the people can say it's even more of a national threat as long as TikTok still has our data. Like they unban it and we come back in with our same exact accounts and it's like nothing ever happened. Okay, then yeah, maybe that because that shows that they kept our information, our accounts around, which I can already kind of tell they still have our information because if I go down like this, the everyone's sorry not available right now is either black or white based on their themes, that box. Mine's black and I've seen other people's have theirs on white, which means they had their settings on dark mode. So obviously they're keeping around some things. At least it knows that when it's banned, at least we what mode our TikTok app we set it on through our account or anything like that. So obviously they're keeping some sort of information still around even though it's banned. Um I personally I could see that being more of a security threat than anything I've ever seen with TikTok so far. So if it does come back and get back our accounts, it could raise suspicion and people that like theorizing and trying to act like there's a. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's potential for war in the United States right now, but I genuinely don't. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that can make those people that theorize that and overthink it. Like the people think it's gonna happen that second. I definitely think they're gonna see that and love making videos based on, oh my god, we're gonna go to war. They kept data. It just proves. So their people are gonna definitely try to use that to their power. Um, to push propaganda. That's basically what it is propaganda. Anyways, outside of that, um, if TikTok comes back when Trump comes back in office, it's not going to be the first thing he's gonna do. I That's just what I think. There's bigger issues in the United States and United States globally, um like their global affairs, the things they do with other countries. There's much bigger problems with that than there is with the TikTok ban. If Trump comes in and he instantly looks at the TikTok ban, that speaks a lot on his character because there's a lot of actual national security threats. Putin and Biden going back and forth, talking about, just the whole entire Ukraine Russia thing has kind of advanced to US tensions because we peeked our head in too much. I feel like that's going to be one of the first things that Trump focuses on, if anything. Or if he's president that's actually about the American people, that's the first thing he'll focus on is protecting the people and keeping us from war. Um, I personally think the United States should stay isolationist like we did before World War II, which means stay back away from war. If a war is happening, it's not our problem. We avoid it and we only go into war if we're forced to go in war. That's how the US has always been until after World War II. Then we just kind of felt powerful because now the US is considered like I forget what it is, but a super something, a super. I think it's literally it's called a superpower state, or you know what I mean, a very powerful country. We have atomic bombs now. We have things that can devastate towns and cities and take lives in point 0.5 seconds. Like we became a superpower from that. So I think that's the only reason why we're kind of digging our heads in way more is because we feel like we have the power to, or if we were to get in trouble, we feel like we'd have the power to keep ourselves out of it. But I still think to avoid any bit of war that you can. This is kind of going off, but this is really all what goes into the TikTok ban. It's a lot of like, because they're saying national security threats, but we're already digging our heads inside of potential war. So why are you caring? It's just a whole lot back and forth with this whole entire situation. Anyways, like I said, TikTok banned just happened. I'm hoping there's public outrage from it, even though that's gonna be sad as fuck to watch and embarrassing for the people I do. I'm really hoping there's public outrage. Um, 9 times out of 10. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about this, so I'll do the wrap up after this. 9 times out of 10, if TikTok does not come back, it does not mean it's the end of the TikTok format. You gotta think we went from Musi to TikTok, but Musi was taken down or whatever, or Musi was shifted into TikTok. So clearly, it will live on. It's either gonna live on in two different ways. Either apps that already have ripped off TikTok, such as hold on, YouTube Shorts. Boom, boom, boom. It will either live on through YouTube Shorts or it's going to live on through Spotlight on Snapchat. Those are the ways that I see it living on, at least locally now, is through those things. Other than that, TikTok will probably live on if like companies that already exist don't successfully rip it off. Um, 9 times out of 10, I see it being remade of an app. People, we've got some people that will see a TikTok's gone and want to cash in on the big old enterprise that it had. So 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a couple TikTok remakes on phones that you can get, like apps that mimic and do the same thing. And then it will be up to us, the people, to decide which one we're all gonna flock to. Because mainly, it's just gonna take one social media influencer to go to one of these apps and be like, "This is pretty good," and then go tell their channel or tell people like, "Yo, this exists," and it's gonna really take off. And whichever influencer does that, 9 times out of 10 will be one of the most popular on it in the early days. And people that go there prior can have a chance of raising to some form of like popularity on the internet for being some of the first there and getting the most content out first. So that's just kind of what I think is going to be a chicken race to a new format. So just overall, yeah, TikTok was banned. Uh, might not come back. It could just be remade or transferred or you know what I'm saying, built into an existing social media platform. Um, public outrage 9 times out of 10 will happen, which even though I'm hoping it happens, hopefully it doesn't like what I mean by hopefully, I'm hoping all of what we get with public outrage is people holding their phones up to their face, crying about how TikTok's gone and they lost everything. What I'm not hoping happens is riots and, you know what I'm saying, retaliation from the people against the U.S. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Um, if Trump comes in office, that's gonna take him a minute to get to the TikTok situation. If he actually focuses on our sovereignty as people, like our rights and our uh protection. He'll focus on that first. Anyways, that's kind of my opinion with this controversy. I kept on yapping the same thing for 16 minutes, but now you kind of know my side of what's happening with the entire TikTok ban or what I feel like is going to be happening. I gave you a couple different options on what is going to happen, either it's going to come back or it's not, and there's multiple ways it can come back instead of actually being released back to the people. Um, and yeah, that's about my